Hello, and welcome to Newsform. I'm your host, Chris from the CHRILLCAST. And today, we're finally going to talk about this. The PS4 poll on users who got bricked from the 9.00 update. This is going to be my absolute best stab at it. I haven't done statistics in a while, but I do work with statistics, so I kind of know what I'm talking about, but just bear with me. All right, here we go. So, of the users polled, 26%, approximately 79 consoles, upgraded to the 9.00 update with no issues. Of the users polled, 7% of the consoles, about 21 of the users upgraded to the 9.00 update, and their console was bricked but was able to be recovered. 8%, or around 22-ish, users upgraded to the 9.00 update fine, but now have various issues like the low res graphics thing that I cannot seem to understand is happening. It's been very interesting. And then of the users polled, 17%, or about 52 consoles of the users upgraded to the 9.00 update, and their console is still bricked, or it did not update to the 9.00 update and it's still bricked. Failure in between the process and didn't work. Of the users pulled, a lot more people than I expected. 43%, 131 console users of the PS4 are waiting to upgrade their PS4 until Sony puts out another patch. When we kind of add up these statistics, we're going to have to throw out the users who chose not to upgrade from the data. So of our original 305 people polled, we are reduced to 174 people who answered with usable data. Now, if we want to apply this data, we have to rescale the values. So of the 174 who attempted to upgrade their PS4 to the 9.00 update and answered the poll, 45% experienced no issues. 12% were initially bricked but eventually worked. 13% updated fine but are now experiencing another issue. And then 30% of users who polled with usable data are still bricked after attempting the PS4 9.00 update. Based on a population of PS4 owners around 110 million strong, with a sample size of 174, we can assume a confidence level of 99% with an error of approximately 10%. This means that our data would reflect what 99% of polls would reflect. However, the error rate is at least 10%, as the survey is susceptible to the selection bias / error and non-response error. The reason that selection bias plays a role is because it impacts the set of statistics, and that you are far more likely to have watched the videos and voted in this poll if you are experiencing an issue from the 9.00 update from the PS4. The reason that non-response error impacts this set of statistics is that if you experience no issues from the PS4 9.00 update, you would be far less likely to have found my videos and voted in the poll. This means that our data would not hold up in a court of law, nor is this the intent of this information. The PS4 launched with a reported 0.4% failure rate from a Sony spokesperson officially stated. Based upon everything discussed above, my best guess on impacted PS4 models from the 9.00 update is anywhere between 10,000 and a million consoles, and that includes consoles that upgraded but also have issues like the low-res textures. Within this range is the original launch model failure rate of 0.4% and would give you approximately 440,000 failed consoles if it actually scaled that way. I want to be clear, there is no way that this update reflected our community tab poll, and because bricking 30% of all PS4 consoles would be 33 million consoles. There's no way that Sony pushed an update that bricked 33 million consoles. So we can just throw that right out. Either way, when you see an update like this and perfectly fine consoles start failing at the same rate as a brand new console, it's not a good thing. The chance that any electronic fails is much higher when it is originally produced. This is called infantile failure, and that's why companies offer a warranty, because they have to account for infantile failure. When companies push an update out to out of warranty electronics, there is no reason to expect a large number of them to fail. Basically, the failure rate of electronics is usually like an inverse bell curve, with the bulk of failures happening on brand new consoles and significantly older consoles, because the manufacturing process can be rough on something, and then long-term use can be rough on electronics. So there's You know, consoles that are working fine after the warranty period are usually in the clear for a significant period of time. My personal opinion is that if a console fails due to an update provided officially by the company, especially an update like Sony does, where you basically can't function on PlayStation without it, that Sony should repair or replace the console for free or at a significantly reduced cost. It does not reflect well on a company like Sony to push out an update that breaks their customers' electronics and then charge them 25 to 35% of the original retail cost for the repair or replacement. So that's where I'm at with this is, you know, I don't know the exact number of consoles affected, nor can we figure that out just on my poll alone. But what I can say is this. Clearly, there's a significant number of people affected by this because a lot of people came and watched a video of ours, you know, 5,000 plus views. So that's where I get my low end here is we had approximately 20,000 plus views on the PS4 9.00 update, and unique visitors to the channel was somewhere between 10 and 15,000. So minimum 10,000 users are affected by this. And then based on all of the statistics I ran in the background, it could be up to 1 million people affected by this. I mean, that's still less than 1% of total PS4 users when you factor in that we have 110 million PS4 consoles in the wild. When you get close to that 1% range, you're talking about millions of consoles. So I don't know the exact number, and I don't know if we'll ever get that statistic exactly, because I doubt Sony will put a poll out like this and ask people. But what I can tell you is this. Push back if Sony tries to charge you money for fixing your console. What they should do is provide you a repair for maybe the cost of shipping. That'd be like the most I would be negotiable to. And based on everything we've discussed and everything we talked about, push back. See what you can get. See if you can get Sony to actually own up to it and fix your console for the lowest possible cost. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions about this, I have seen some interesting things on the web, like this guy. Tech Acute, Daniel Bennett wrote, my PS4 got bricked by an update and Sony hasn't said a word. So basically he's been looking out, reaching out to Sony, trying to understand it. And basically he found out his console is bricked. It doesn't talk about how they offer that $100 repair replacement plan, but I'm sure if he reached out, he could find out what that answer is. And then another thing, here's a thread on GameFAQs. They discussed the Reddit thread, and they're like, oh, you know, unreliable, da da da. But when you see things like this, the PS4 failure rate gets revised to under 1%, that 0.4%, this is where we referenced it from. Sony actually stated that around 0.4% of units have been reported as having faults by users who received the consoles. So you're talking like original pre-orders of the PS4, the failure rate was 0.4%. And I would not be surprised if the impacted number of consoles was somewhere around that number. But it shouldn't be. When you're outside of the warranty period, the whole point is like an update or use of the electronics should not be as high of a failure rate as infantile failure. And we're not far enough out from the Slim model releasing and the PS4 Pro model releasing that we should be seeing these failures at the end of the bell curve. The inverse bell curve. It just doesn't make any sense. So good luck out there. If you do have a bricked console, my recommendation is you push back with Sony, give it your best shot, and see what Sony will do for you. Generally speaking, a customer service rep will try to make you happy as best they can. So still disappointed that Sony hasn't addressed this or put out an update, but I will tell you this. As soon as I know of a new patch by Sony, I will be covering that ASAP. So sorry for the glum update. Don't know what else to tell you guys. Kind of getting tired. It's a little depressing covering this subject in general, but we'll keep at it. We'll see what we can do, and hopefully Sony will respond. So as always, I'm Chris from the CHRILLCAST. This was the latest news swarm on the PS4 situation with the 9.00 update. And if you like how we covered it, make sure you guys like this video, comment down below your own thoughts, and make sure you subscribe for further updates in the future. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.